Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. Do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. I try to put gaming content out like this on a steady basis, and if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. Now with that said, today's video, I want to show you guys my updated Legend of Zelda collection of games. Recently, I picked up a few more Legend of Zelda titles that I was missing, and I was just going to show them, but you know what? I figured I might as well show off my collection because I absolutely love these games and it's just so fun to just show them and talk about them. So any excuse to talk about Zelda, I'm going to go for it. Alright, so let's start out with the originals. Now, I do have the first two Legend of Zelda games. These are complete in box. These were actually some of the first things I've got a few years ago to start my gaming collection. I always had games, but I just had, copies I threw around, got, sold, whatever. But a few years back, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's been about five, 6 years now, something like that, I started collecting. And I stopped selling my stuff, all that, because I had to get rid of some stuff to, basically have money. A few times I was down on my luck, I needed some cash, so I sold games, systems, other systems, and I always regretted it and wanted to get that stuff back. So this was the start of getting it back. So I bought the first two Legend of Zelda games, complete in box, and I found really decent copies. Now these are not mint by any means, but they are in really good condition. And they definitely mean a lot to me. These were the first couple games that really just pulled in my imagination and really made me a gamer, especially this one right here. In 1986, me and my brother got the NES with Legend of Zelda, and once me and him started playing this, I just fell in love instantly. The sense of adventure and wonder was definitely seeded into me right then and there. And ever since then, I've just absolutely loved video games. So I pretty much single-handedly have this game to thank for it. I mean, there was other ones before that, Donkey Kong, Q*bert, things of that nature, but Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, but this one really showed me what games could be and opened my eyes to a whole new style of gameplay. And it continued right here with this. Even though people give this game a bad name, I absolutely love this game as well. Because back when I had this, I never had a problem with it. I just thought it was a continuation of this game, even though it seemed to be different. I didn't know back then. There wasn't other games to compare it to. So this just seemed like an evolution. But then, when we winded up going to A Link to the Past, then it was totally clear that this was the way to go. And that this was going to be the way forward, and it needed to be the way forward. Because this game was absolutely phenomenal, and it just took the series to a whole new level and just pretty much standardized a lot of things from that point forward. And then, after that, we got a little game called Ocarina of Time. And this game completely redefined gaming. As far as 3D gaming, this was pretty much, besides Mario 64, that game and this one were pretty much just the birth of 3D gaming. They're the ones that absolutely just perfected the formula and just showed everybody else how to do it. This was the first true open world 3D game that just did everything so right at the time. It was absolutely amazing and a breathtaking story and game, and still is to this day. This was my favorite game for a long time. And jumping back into it, I can totally see why I loved it so much, because I still love it. It's still an absolutely great game, even if this version does definitely look dated. But a year later, to my almost disbelief, we got Majora's Mask. But we got Majora's Mask about a year later, and I almost didn't believe it. I think I've told this story before where I just went in there and I didn't know what I was seeing on the shelf. I seen that it was a new Zelda game, but I couldn't believe it. It was so close to this huge adventure I just had, and just 100%ed 2 times in a row, because this was the first game that I 100%ed. I was absolutely hooked to this gameplay, and I didn't think that it could ever be topped. I actually got sad when I beat this, that I had to start it over again, because I didn't want it to end. I was having so much fun. So I was real happy to start playing this, and went right through this game. Because I did buy the manual to it, and at the time, I needed the manual. This game was crazy with the time mechanic. You had to make sure you were at certain spots at certain times, or you missed people, and oh my goodness. But with the manual, it was doable, and I was able to make it through it. But I did have fun with both of the games, but Ocarina of Time definitely, to me, I thought was the better game out of the two. Even though I still enjoy Majora's Mask, and I think it definitely holds a different spot in my heart. I love the art style to this game, though. That's for sure. So moving on, let's see here. So now I got some disc-based games, and I'll start out right here with The Wind Waker. Now, this was a controversial game at the time, but this is an absolutely amazing journey you go on here. And just a gorgeous game. This game still totally holds up, and holds up, I think, better than Ocarina of Time just because of the art style. So, happy to have that. And then right here for the GameCube, I also have the Ocarina of Time 2-game bonus disc, which also has the Master Quest, which was never released before this. So pretty sweet to have this. Now, this also included a sneak peek at some other hot titles: F-Zero, 1080 Avalanche, Wario World, Metroid Prime, and let's see, Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, and Four Swords Adventure. This was a big deal back then. They loved to have demos and stuff. I used to get Xbox magazines around this time, and I was always getting demo discs. You get PlayStation 2 demo discs, Xbox. It is crazy. Really cool time in gaming. So moving on, I have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Now, this was on the Wii, and this used motion controls. But we did have a game that did come before this that I don't have on the Wii anymore, and that was Twilight Princess. I used to have it on the Wii, and I still have the actual strategy guide for the Wii version of that. Even though I do not have a copy of that, as far as for the Wii, I do have it for the Wii U, and I actually like this version better. One, it's the HD version, and two, you can actually play it with the Wii Pad, or like a Pro Controller, or whatever. So pretty sweet. This is definitely a good game, and this was an answer to The Wind Waker, because a lot of people weren't a fan of The Wind Waker's art style back at that time. I was a little iffy about it, but I wasn't against it. And then when I seen more gameplay and then played it, I totally got it. It was pretty much instant. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that's why I definitely prefer this version, Wind Waker HD. This game looks gorgeous. This is, to me, the definitive edition of this game. It just looks great. It adds some quality of life features like the fast sail and stuff. And I actually played this in 2019 and beat it again, because this game is just awesome. So glad to have that into the collection. And moving on, now I have Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Just an absolute masterpiece. And this is why I have so many copies of this game. This is my current favorite game of all time. I also have a sealed copy of Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Then I have my original Nintendo Day 1 Switch copy. Now, I got the Nintendo Switch Day 1, and I got this actual version right here. This is the actual game I picked up, and this game just blew my mind. And I got lucky to get this. This is actually from the expansion pass that came a little bit after launch, but early in the Switch's life, there wasn't a whole lot of games at first. It was pretty much a Breath of the Wild machine for a while. But you would see these when this expansion started coming out. You would see these all over the shelves at GameStops, and that's for the expansion pass. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get one of these from the guys at GameStop. They actually thought they threw all these out. I got lucky because they found one, and they gave it to me. I was really happy to get this. Super cool. To me, this is something I could never get rid of. I mean, I would never get rid of any of these games, not anymore. Those days are gone. And I also have Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U, an absolutely great game. And I also have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch. This definitely is the Definitive Edition. I don't have the 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors, but this Definitive Edition gives you all that extra content. So it's definitely packed with tons and tons of content on this cartridge. So definitely happy to have those. Moving on to another stack of Breath of the Wild and Switch stuff. Right here I have the, I have the Breath of the Wild Explorers Edition. Now, it drove me crazy that they had a big box version of this later, so I had to pick this up because it actually came with an art book and a bonus map inside. So I had to get this, which the cartridge inside of it, well, the game case, was actually the not for resale version that has the artwork all the way around the back with the Guardian. So really cool. And this is the version of the game that you get in any of the special editions. So definitely happy to have that. But when I picked that up, not only did I pick up one version, I picked up another version because I wanted to have this game sealed. So I have another version of the Explorers Edition that is sealed. So super cool. And on the Switch as well, we recently got Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake. So I did just get one version of this, which came with an art book, and I did get the not for resale version of the actual game box, which has that on the back of it. So super cool. Now I wish we would have got the unlimited edition that they got in Europe that also had the steel bookcase that looked like a Game Boy playing Link's Awakening, but this is what we got, so that's fine. And probably one day I will pick that up as well. But moving along now to handheld, more handheld stuff. Now, right off the bat, I'll show you my new Nintendo 2DS XL, which is the Hylian Shield Edition, which came packed in with Link Between Worlds. So, pretty awesome stuff. And here is the actual console. This thing is gorgeous, and I could not pass this version up. I had to pick this up. This thing just looks absolutely awesome, and I do have it displayed on my shelf. Now this is one, I could play it, but I just don't. I pretty much have it just displayed. But I really do like this. It just looks awesome. I really like the Hylian Shield version of this. So that was that. Now I'll show you some of my Game Boy and handheld games. So I not too long ago got a version of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. So pretty cool. Now I did take these out of the plastic Nintendo sleeves that I had for just a couple games that I have. I have those from when I was a kid. So I pretty much just put, like, you know, the games that mean the most to me in there, or the most expensive ones in those plastic cases. And this is definitely one of them. And then I also have the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons games, which I got the same day together with a Game Boy Color. I was actually at work. I worked at a department store, and I was bored. And there was an electronics across the department store because I worked in sporting goods. So on my break, I walked over there, bought a Game Boy Color and both of these games. So pretty sweet, and I like how they're clear. I think that's awesome that they did that. So super happy to have these. And unfortunately, they would be complete, but like an idiot, a few years ago I was cleaning out some stuff and my boxes were all crushed. They weren't that bad. They were just flattened. I probably could have saved them knowing what I know now. But I think they got thrown away. The boxes, the manuals for both of these games, and for Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I think for Majora's Mask. So yeah, that stings a bit. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Alright, so moving along here. Now I got the rest of my handheld games. So let's see here. So we got Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, and I just love this version. I think this is pretty much the definitive version of this game. They just cleaned it up. The textures just look a lot better. They just added some things to this game that make it look better, and I think the 3D effect really works in this game. I do really like that, even if some people don't. So let's see here. We also have Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Again, a really cool version, the definitive version of this game. Just better textures. They added just all kinds of cool stuff. There is some things that, you know, make this, you know, a game that some people don't like, and I can understand why. You know, things that they did to pretty much nerf the Deku Scrub or the Zora when you turn into them. There is some issues with the swimming and when you're a Zora compared to the original version, and when you're a Deku Shrub, they did change the way that you do kind of move. So that's unfortunate, but everything else, this is definitely the way to go. This game is absolutely gorgeous looking. Alright, so then we also have Link Between Worlds. Even though I had it digitally, I had already had it physically. So when I first got this, it didn't even have a box. I bought a used copy, but luckily over time I did get a box. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get a better box for this and Ocarina of Time 3D. That way I don't have the player's choice box, because it absolutely drives me crazy that they shrunk down the box art. Just to put that border around it. But regardless, I'm still happy that I have the case for this. And I also have a copy of Triforce Heroes. Out of those 3 games, this would be the weaker out of the 4. The other 3 are just really great games. You know, this game definitely has its own things that are really cool about it, but man, you can't beat Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Link Between Worlds. They're just absolutely fantastic. And recently, if you've been watching my channel, you would have seen that I picked up 2 DS games that I used to have, and that is the Phantom Hourglass. Now this is complete with everything, all the extra manuals and all that kind of stuff in there. So pretty sweet. I'm glad that I finally own this again. And I also got the Spirit Tracks, which I am very happy to finally own this again. And this is complete as well. And I do really enjoy these games, even being that you use the stylus. It is unique, and I didn't know how I was going to like it at first. When I first got the Phantom Hourglass, I didn't know that it was actually going to be like that. And then I started playing, I started to play, and then I was like, oh, okay. And I had to like learn that style, but I was like, this does work, and I got used to it and actually had a lot of fun playing like that, even though I still always enjoyed actual regular controller combat, but it still did work pretty good. And I knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to use the stylus features and stuff. It totally made sense. But these are the newest ones I added to my collection, and this was the reason I even made the video. Because I am super happy to finally have these two games in my collection. And that is the Game Boy Advance, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and Four Swords Adventure. And I see, you can see the box is got a little bit of wear to it, but it's still definitely not in too bad shape. Now, I will be getting a protector for this. This is complete in box with all the manual, everything, and that stuff is in really good shape. It's just the box has some wear on it. It looks like it has some wear from being pulled in and out of a shelf. So, but regardless, super cool, and I got a pretty good price on it. So, pretty happy about that. But I also got a bundle. And this was the main game that I was really going for, and that is the Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. And I am really happy to finally have a physical version of this game. Now, I did have this game, say like on the Wii U and stuff, that I had off of their eShop or whatever, but I never actually had the physical version. I also had, other ROMs of this that I had other ways to play it, but like I said, I never had a way to play this on original hardware, so that makes me super happy. And this is complete. Now, this box has a little bit of wear, but this one is definitely in better shape out of the two. And I couldn't tell you how happy I am to finally have this game, because this is a really cool Zelda game. Even though, it was made by Capcom as well. I'm pretty sure it was, because I know Capcom actually did Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and I'm pretty sure that they actually worked on this too. I don't think it says anywhere, but regardless, this is a really cool game. They actually almost used the Minish in Breath of the Wild. It says it in the Masterworks, but they winded up, for whatever reason, I guess maybe it didn't work out with the game style or whatever, so they just didn't do it. But yeah, guys, I'm super happy to finally add these complete in box Zelda games to my collection. It's been a long time that I wanted to get these, and finally I pulled the trigger on them and picked them up. There was other games that I had to get first before I did wind up getting these, and I had gotten them already, so it was definitely time for me to pick these up. And I'm super happy to finally add these to my collection. So really cool. I mean, they can be a bit pricey. I was able to find a decent price on them, one that I felt comfortable with paying. So there they are. So pretty sweet. So now I can look for other games that I was looking up on adding to my collection eventually. But before I end this video, I want to show you one last thing. And this is my favorite piece in my collection, and this is something that is sealed, and that is this guy right here. This is the Master Edition of Breath of the Wild. Now, this thing is sealed. I don't know if I'll ever open it. Maybe one day, maybe not. I don't know. There is a statue in here and a whole bunch of good, cool stuff, but I don't know. I do like just knowing that it's there and it's sealed and that I could open it at any time. But this thing is absolutely just gorgeous. Now, I wasn't able to get this on launch day, even though I wanted it so bad, because I had some health problems right before that. So I just, didn't have a ton of money because I was in the hospital prior. So I was only able to get the Switch and just the regular copy. But later on, when I went back to work, I made sure that I was able to pick this up. And that I did, and here it is. I just absolutely love this thing, and that's why it is the picture of my channel along with the original first two games, because I absolutely love these games and they're some of my favorite games of all time. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did you enjoy the video? Do you have a Legend of Zelda collection? And if you have a pretty good sized collection, what games are you missing? Let me know in the comments, and if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. I try to put gaming content out like this on a regular basis. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.